But Schiff also said something else. He said that attacking the whistleblower wouldn't change the facts. You see, that's exactly what Schiff doesn't want. He doesn't want you to examine the dirtiest parts of this entire thing. Why can't we question the process? Because I got a few. Let's look at the chalkboard here, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. Let's say you have something credible and urgent, like, hey, somebody's gonna nuke Washington, D.C. Okay, that's good. What do? You don't run to press. You don't run to the president. You don't run to Congress. You run to the Internal General, the Investigator General. You're a whistleblower. Hey, I just got news. Somebody's going to try to blow up the White House in Washington, D.C. You bring it to the Inspector General. Step number 2. The Attorney General has 14 days to determine if the complaint is credible and urgent. Now, this is really important, this urgent part, because I want to show you exactly what urgent and credible means. The administration or operation of an intelligence activity within the authority of the Director of National Intelligence involving classified information. Within the authority? Why are you pointing that out? Within the authority of the Director of National Intelligence. Okay, so he has 14 days to determine if the complaint is credible and urgent. If the Inspector General deems the information credible and urgent, he then must forward it to the Director of National Intelligence. That's that guy that I just read in that little thing I think we call a law. Okay, so the Director of National Intelligence, he's involved in classified information. I see. Then the DNI has 7 days to submit that report to Congress. Well, this sounds pretty logical. 14 days, is the guy crazy? Is it urgent? The IG then says, yeah, it's credible and urgent. You got to forward it to the Director of National Intelligence. He says, is this have anything to do with intelligence and under my jurisdiction? The DNI has 7 days to submit the report to Congress. If the information is deemed not credible or no action is taken. So in other words, everybody's like, oh, shut up, you whistleblower. Nobody's going to try to blow up the White House. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Well, if the information is deemed not credible and the action is not taken, then the whistleblower can go directly to Congress. There's not a period there. There's a giant but. He must tell the Inspector General and work with the DNI. Why? Because the law, crazy. Let's not call this a law. Let's instead call this a safety tip. Okay, because laws sound like it shouldn't be broken, but safety tips, it's just an idea. It's like, hey, caution, wet floor. You know what I mean? You still walk through it. So the whistleblower can go directly to Congress, but he has to tell the IG and work with the DNI. He must work with the Director of National Intelligence because he's the guy that looks at everything and says, is this classified information? So you just don't run to Congress because Congress can't know everything that's classified. And so you just can't run and tell a congressman because they may not have the clearance to know that. This is what this guy does. Okay, so that's how it works. Except for this time. This time, it worked this way. And class, I have a little formula here for you. Whistleblower goes to the Inspector General, who has 14 days. If yes, then they go to the DNI, 7-day wait, and it must go to Congress. If no, then the whistleblower goes to the DNI, to the IG, to Congress. Got it? So Congress, we eventually get there, but you got to do these steps. Here's how it worked with this whistleblower for some reason. There was the Trump phone call on July 25th, and then the whistleblower was like, man, this is so urgent. Whew. I should sit down for 18 days. Or did he? Because he didn't file his complaint until August 12th. Well, maybe that's because he didn't have firsthand knowledge. Everybody had to be talking about it, okay? So 18 days. But then he takes his whistleblower report, or better yet, he doesn't have a report yet. He takes his whistleblowing ass, and he goes right directly to Congress. He skips steps 1 through 4, goes directly to 5, but only does this part, go to Congress. He doesn't do any of the IG or the DNI. This is a guy who's worried about our national security. He's supposedly an intelligence officer, and he does this. I mean, even Jack Bauer would have been, all right, we got time on this one. I mean, urgent is like, I'm going to have to strap the lamp cords to your nipples because a bomb's going off. This guy, there's nothing urgent here. But he went directly to Congress, skipped right to 5, and only did half of 5. But that's not even really how it happened. Remember, supposed to go this way. They'd like you to believe that it went this way, but instead it did this. Phone call, 18 days wait, nobody can explain that. Bring it directly to Congress. Congress then says, oh yeah, bring that directly, you need a lawyer. Get a lawyer to help you frame that, then bring it to the IG, and then we'll get it to the New York Times. How? Oh, and by the way, it got into the Times, and as soon as it was in the Times, not the actual report, just the idea that there was a whistleblower, we were starting impeachment. All right, let me ask you this. Schiff doesn't want you to focus on this. Don't ask about the process. Why? This is really important. This is really important. How much of the information was shared and with whom? The whistleblower is a CIA officer. Should there be any kind of trouble he's in just because of this? I don't care if he was right or wrong. I mean, we've always seen every movie. I've watched 24. I've watched all the seasons. They always get in trouble. Jack Bauer was running from the government because they're like, yo, strapped electrical cords to a nipples. And he's like, yeah, they were going to blow up the whole world. Well, we don't do it that way. We've got rules. Where are the rules?